Hi there, welcome back to my shop. I got a couple of stickers in the last few days for my virtual wall. One of them is from Claire at Claire's Crafty Corner. She's in England and she's a delightful lady to watch and listen to, very exuberant. She does a little bit of wood turning but seems to be mostly into resin work. So if that interests you at all, I hope you'll check out her channel. I also got one from South Africa, from Yappy Makes, and I hope I'm pronouncing his first name right. He did tell me that it starts with a Y as in yes, although it's spelled with a J. He's a wood turner. He's been on YouTube now for I think a little less than a year. So check him out. I think you'll like his work. I'm going to put links to both of their channels in the description box down below this video. So do check them out. Now, for today's project, this one I did a few days ago. It's an apple natural edge bowl. I'm real happy with how it turned out. And I've noticed that just over the last few days, it's actually warped. You can see it's wobbling there. It's not sitting flat like it was. But that's all right. I still like it a lot. For this week's project, I'm going to do this one. Now this one started out 11.5 inches long, 6.5 inches wide, and 2.5 inches thick. Hasn't changed much in dimension, and I'm real happy with this one. I wanted to try a shallow natural edge bowl, see how it would work out. Another apple piece. So I hope you'll stick around and see how I came up with this, and I hope you'll enjoy the video. Let's go get some work done. I used a 2 1/8 inch Forstner bit to create a flat spot, and then a 5/16 inch drill bit to drill for my woodworm screw. So I'm going to mount it on the lathe now and get to work. Now this is a little off balance, but surprisingly I'm able to turn it at 750 RPM. I'm going to use my 3/8 inch bowl gouge. It's my favorite gouge to turn with. I could remove wood a lot faster if I was using a 1/2 or 3/4 inch gouge, but every cut to me is a pleasure and a practice cut, so I'm just going to go with this. I'm going to point out again, when I'm cutting and I've got the gouge coming across here, I'm not looking where the gouge is. I'm looking over here so I can watch what the cut is doing. If I start watching in here too closely, I don't see what's really happening in the big picture. There is a heck of a crack right here, and it's right along the pith. So I may have to take this down a lot thinner than I really would like to. But I can't very well just leave that in there. It's just going to keep on cracking. Well, let's see what happens if I raise this to 1,000 RPM now. Well, there's a lot of shaking going on, but I think I'm going to give that a try because I need a little less air time to get smooth cuts. All right, the cuts are a little better. Just need to reposition this and carry on. I've marked a 2 1/4 inch circle that I'm going to use as a recess for my chuck jaws. Now I'll just turn that. Need my tool rest a little higher. I'm going to turn that up to 1,000 RPM and see if it'll clean it out a little better. Oh yeah, much better. A little sanding, that'll be fine. I've raised the speed to 1250 RPM. All right, that cleaned that up much better. All right, I think I need to hone that gouge a little bit, maybe get a cleaner cut. Now it's a little better, but I still got a ways to go. Too much vibration. I'm going to try turning this back down to 1,000 RPM, see if that helps. All right, I want to try a little shear cutting here. Oh, that's cleaning that area up a little bit. To do this shear cutting, I'm just holding my gouge handle very low and coming across at about a 45 degree, keeping this edge just off of plumb. If I go plumb, it's just going to cut in there. Coming around a little bit is what I need to do. All right, the shavings I'm getting, you can see, are very fine, and that's doing a pretty nice job. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get until I sand this. Now I just want to clean this base up. Ooh, that is ugly. Try that again. Might be getting it. Yes, a little bit at a time. I'll be making that recess a little deeper though. All right, that'll work for me. I'll be back after I get that recess sized. All right, I've got this turning at 250 RPM just to make the recess for my logo coin. I like to keep the speed down. I've seen so many people turning at 1000 RPM for some reason just to drill a hole. All that does is overheat your bit, and it's not good for the edge. All right, make that a little deeper, I think, and I can glue this in after I'm finished all the sanding on this outside. All right, I'm just going to put a couple of decorative rings in here using the corner of my skew chisel, and I'll be doing this at 500 RPM. All right, time to do some sanding. I'm going to be sanding this inside here and up to where I start to end up with airtime using my 2-inch disc in my drill. These rings that I've created, I'm going to just use strips of sandpaper in there. I'm going to start this area with 80 grit. When I get up where I'm getting airtime, I'm going to switch to my random orbit sander. Now this can remove wood in a hurry, so I'm just starting with 120 grit. I'm going to lock the spindle in place when I'm using that. I'll show you a little bit of this sanding, but who wants to watch a lot of sanding, so I won't make you watch it all. And I'll be back after I get my air shield on. I would kind of like my lungs to last as long as the rest of me can, so I'll be right back. All right, I've sanded it to 320 grit. I would have gone to 400 if I had the discs for my random orbit sander, but I don't. Now, because I have to call it a day, because my back is starting to hurt again, I'm going to leave this overnight, and last time I turned a piece of apple, it cracked badly out on the wings. My friend Scott gave me a tip. He said that he had a piece of fruitwood that was cracking, so he soaked it with mineral oil and the cracking stopped. Now, I can't guarantee that's why it stopped. I can't guarantee it's going to stop this from cracking, but I'm going to soak this with mineral oil. I'll come back in the morning, turn this around, and turn the top of the bowl. But if there's any chance this is going to help, I'm fine with that. So I'm going to soak this, be back in the morning. You don't have to wait. I'll just start the camera again in the morning. I like to just push my thumb right on the woodworm screw hole, try to center it. That seems to be running true. Should be tight enough. I'm going to start at 750 RPM, again with my 3/8 inch bowl gouge. Just want to make sure I retighten this occasionally. The vibration could cause things to loosen up. Cutting through that bark is very hard on the tool, so I'm just going to re-hone again. I have the gouge resharpened, tightened the chuck again, and I've raised the speed to 1000 RPM. I've raised the speed to 1500 RPM. I've got quite a nasty little gouge right in there. I'm going to use my 1/2 inch gouge to see if I can clean that up. There might be just too much vibration for the 3/8 gouge. Alright, it cleaned it up a little more. I think the rest is going to have to be done with sanding. I'm going to sand this off camera and then I'll be back to show you the results. And there's the final results. I'm real happy with how this turned out. I've got 3 coats of mineral oil on the inside. I also put mineral oil on the bark using an acid brush. I like that finish. The bottom looks real good to me. I'm not sure if that trick that my friend Scott told me about, soaking with mineral oil, stopped it cracking or if it just wasn't going to crack. But regardless, I like it. So, I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll come back next time. Between now and then, have a great day in your shop and be safe. If you did enjoy this, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe if you haven't done that before. And a big thank you again to those who have subscribed. You really make it worth doing this. Click the like button if you did like this. If you didn't, click the thumbs down. And if you really want to help my channel, share it with others. So thank you again for joining me today. Come back next time and take care. Bye-bye now.